There's a couple of moments in life where, things will take your breath away.
Strikes it goal, it's bending
A moment that you pinch yourself when you say that there's this many people collectively who are singing and chanting and enjoying the same common love for something. You're watching or listening to the Soccer Podcast USA. I'm your host, Christina Unkel. This week's episode is different. It's been a whirlwind few days. We're taking you behind the scenes as we stretched our boundaries from the training fields of Tampa to the terraces at Man United, via the boardroom at Brentford and an airport lounge in New York. This is my daily life here. Players in the back, NWSL getting ready for season, us being in season. The future of the game isn't built in boardrooms or just in stadiums. It's built here on training grounds like my team, the Tampa Bay Suns, where players push themselves every day preparing for what's next. The game doesn't wait for perfect conditions, neither does broadcasting. That's me in my box on CBS giving my refereeing opinion and broadcasting courtesy of a webcam from an airport lounge.
You know who we asked. We asked Christina Unkel. Will she agree with the referee? Yes or yes? Was it?
Now, a 2-hour delay, a last-minute gate change, and a match to analyze in between. Refereeing decisions don't stop being controversial just because I'm in Terminal 4. What does stop? My Wi-Fi connection when I'm crossing the pond. The best way to describe Brentford is that they're community-driven, forward-thinking, and serious about success.
Highlight of the experience has been understanding and learning Brentford and the fans and the community, but most importantly, the staff that is building this incredible community, not just for what we see here on 90 Minutes, but also the future of women's football at Brentford. Brentford
is where my two worlds, Tampa's project and England's elite club structures, intersect. There's a lot of talk about investment in women's football in England, but Brentford isn't just talking, they're doing. It's a club that sees the women's game not as an obligation, but an opportunity. Saturday was International Women's Day, and I was there to talk to the board about women's soccer.
I'd like to thank Brentford for the invitation. Visit Tampa Bay is activating. Many of those who may not know, Tampa is in Florida. Beautiful, glorious, and we brought the sun with you here today. To thank Brentford for not just the progressive nature for it, but understanding that women's football is not a charity, but it's an investment. It's an actual business deal, and there is revenue opportunity here, but also growing the game, delivering a high platform, and delivering things from new spectators to new fans to new corporate partnerships, and just to new individuals who are able to bring families to this community, to a game that we love, which is a global game. It's not just the fact that you guys have equipped the women's football team with respect to just putting a train out there. You guys are laying down the tracks to make what it is going to be an incredible, impactful women's football club that you will deliver here in the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm very excited and just honored to be able to be a witness of it and to work with and talk to the women's football consultants that they have invested in. I can't thank you enough on behalf of those and others in the women's game, and those who represent the women's game, both in the women's game and the men's game, so voices of women in the game, for everything that you guys have done, are doing, and will do in the future. So thank you, Cliff, and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a blast in Brentford, but it was time to head north.
Why are you paying for the gas before you pump it? What the heck is petrol? It's gasoline, not petrol.
It's not gas, it's petrol. And if I ever complain about US fuel prices again, just remind me of this moment. Good thing I have an electric car. Old Trafford, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Two giants, one of the biggest stages in football. This is what the top of the game looks like. Of course, tonight wasn't just about football. The Glazers got a reminder of how United fans feel about their ownership. Coming from Tampa, I guess you could say I'm familiar with the name, just maybe not these chants.
Typically, I would say I'm from Tampa, Florida, but when you're in Manchester United, you say you're from Sarasota, Florida. So check it out.
Look at the stadium. Packed, loud. A statement of what football means here. There's a couple of moments in life where, things will take your breath away. A moment that you pinch yourself when you say that there's this many people collectively who are singing and chanting and enjoying the same common love for something. Where someone is all behind and they're all singing, let's say a Taylor Swift, a Taylor Swift performance. But this is similar to that, but in the sense of, I would say, closer to religion, where you have all these chants and this history and this rich tradition, that really is what makes the game, right? Not the activations on a video board, not the prize in the middle of the game, right? Not the fun little noise on the week, in between halves, but it's truly feels like a religion internally inside when you see over 70,000 people. I'll carve out the Arsenal fans, but when you see 70,000 people, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, age, walk of life, period of life, all getting behind the same love. And that's for the game and for this team and for the brand. The journey isn't over. Next stop, Wembley, the home of English football, a place where the sport's biggest moments are memorialized in stone and song, a stadium that's seen some of the sport's greatest moments, and now a place where women's football is moving forward. But I just had to drop in. So Wembley felt more like the Vatican in the sense that you walk up and you've seen it at big historic moments, and video doesn't do it justice. That stadium reminded you of Olympics, right? That stadium reminded you of World Cups. That stadium reminded you of a whole nation approaching a nation that, sometimes rightfully or wrongfully puts football first over other things at times. But it was surreal to be there in person, knowing and having seen it multiple times on video. It doesn't do it justice. But to also know that you're at the home of football is what they like to say. It feels like it. It feels like the home of football, and that's what it should feel like around the world.
They think it's all over. It is now. It's ball.
Rightfully or wrongfully, it doesn't impact me in the moment. And I understand and I acknowledge that this isn't normal. That you could be on a phone call on Thursday and then on a plane on the following Wednesday and then have your entire day stacked, and then you're the director's box at a Premier League game sitting next to the chair. It's not normal. I think the time it hits me is when I talk to people about what it is that we do. But I think the reason why it hits me as normal, it doesn't have a lot of impact, is because where I need to move the needle in the sense of how I can contribute back to this game, like this is part of the process. 1 week, 4 cities, 4 miles and sleep. So now you know why we took you behind the scenes. We didn't have time to do our normal podcast and video, but we will see you next week when things get back to, well, what I would call as close as possible to normal for me. Don't forget to follow us on the Soccer Podcast USA as we continue to bring you big names and bold opinions. That's it for our show. See you later.